podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection, bringing you three neat perspectives of varying scale range. I am the ace pilot of this episode, Andrew. With me are Porkins, Keith.
Hello.
And our last starfighter, Aaron.
Thank you for having me. I don't get the Porkins reference. Can you help me out?
Really? See,
No.
I did it because I knew Keith definitely wouldn't get it. It's from Star Wars.
I actually
Porkins is a character. Oh, he is a
So
character.
Porkins is the fat guy who gets blown up.
Yeah.
you say that, Andrew,
right away.
You say that, but this is one of those weird cultural things that I know, and it's actually courtesy of Family Guy because in their episode, like Star Wars episode, they have a little scene with him.
Oh.
So that's why I actually.
I like
Now I actually thought it was just from Family Guy, like originally. Since then, I have learned, and not even just tonight, but yeah.
So is most of your Star Wars knowledge based off of the Family Guy episode of Star Wars?
No, a lot of like that's probably the closest I've come to actually watching them. But all in all, no. It's one of those things that's culturally around enough that you just
And not
kinda know
Porkins.
things. Not Porkins, but that's a hyper specific one that I know
Because he is
of Family
barely
Guy.
in it, and they just kill him.
Yeah, he literally is like one scene and gets blown up.
He pretty much is there.
But he's
just to
very
be blown
famous.
up. Yeah, and that's his role.
And
Well,
it's funny
for that
because no
purpose,
one calls his name, I think, in the movies, but they actually did give him a name.
Well, I think too, it's become one of those things beyond Family. It's become a bit of a meme.
Oh,
And
yeah.
That's
Oh,
about the
yeah.
only reason. Again, I kind of know who he is, but
I had forgotten. I'll
But I
never
thought you-
forget you again, Porkins.
I thought you'd enjoy your 80s nostalgia reference, Aaron.
I did, Andrew. It was so good.
But anyway,
that's why he
this
shows
week
up every week.
Yeah.
we played Minishoot Adventures by Soul Game Studios. We had to do a nice little easy game this week because, like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, kind of took a lot of time. And so
It wasn't. It's just like I feel like the last few games have just been like heavy.
yes,
Like they've taken a good amount of time, so it kind of felt nice to do something a little bit lighter,
a little bit mini.
if you will.
I see what you did there.
I didn't like it, but I see what you did.
But Minishoot Adventures. Before we start this, I have a couple complaints about this game right off the get-go, and that's its presentation. First of all, its name sucks. Minishoot Adventures. If I said that to somebody, hey, I'm playing Minishoot Adventures, like, first of all, I would think it was a mobile game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the cover too also does not help. Its cover is like, what is this game? It's like, oh, a spaceship shooting a robot, but no, you're not actually a spaceship. So,
Aren't you an anthropomorphic ship?
kind of, but not really, because literally, did you guys get it right away at the beginning? As soon as the game starts, you fly and there's a body of water, and I flew into it and you drown right away. And it says you're not
Yeah.
actually flying. So it's like, oh, so I'm not actually a ship.
But you are.
Well, that
flying.
is true. You're hovering at the
You're
least.
hovering. Yeah.
So you should be able to hover over water. I mean, you do eventually, but anyway,
Yeah.
those are just little minor gripes. Anyway, getting into Minishoot Adventures. Minishoot Adventures is an action-adventure role-playing game. Basically, think somebody played old school Zelda and went, you know what? This game would be fun if it was a twin-stick shooter. And that's what Minishoot Adventures is. It is just a top-down. You are a little ship going around, leveling up, getting stronger abilities, and exploring the world and trying to save your people that got taken over by an evil corruption.
To be
But-
clear, I don't know if you did or didn't, but when you say Zelda, you mean like
I said old school
original.
Zelda.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
original Zelda, not
Yeah.
well. Old school Zelda at this point could be Ocarina of Time.
That
Or
is
Majora's
a valid
Mask.
point.
Those are like
Super
30
old
years
school
old.
Zelda. How about
NES 8-bit top-down Zelda.
You have to remember, Andrew, like that's like 30 years old now. So when you
Well,
say
'cause
old
there's-
school,
I mean,
Valid,
there's
valid.
even was it Link 2 that it was actually like a platformer.
oh yeah, I think
So
you're right.
there's even that in terms of the old school Zeldas.
Yeah.
Just,
So you
for
need to
getting
be
into it.
very specific, Andrew.
Okay. Valid point. But anyway, getting to whether or not this is a game you should play or something you should pass. Starting off, this is a game. This was a lot of fun. To me, it felt very reminiscent of kind of old school Flash games, where its story is kind of basic, and it's moving like the controls and everything are pretty basic, but it's just a lot of fun. It's just something like I could see myself coming home from school and just like booting up something on Newgrounds and just playing way too many hours into. But I had a ton of fun with this. It is constantly progressing because anytime, even if you're failing at a boss, you're still getting experience points and getting stronger and stronger. So I never felt like, oh, I'm stuck here. I can't do this. It's like, no, if I keep going at this boss, eventually I'm just going to get strong enough to overpower him. So yeah, I like this a lot. This was a game.
Yeah, when it first came out, there was a little, anybody who's listened to this for a while knows that I see dumb small games. I'm like, that could be kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe there's just something I could like there. But I didn't really look at it. And then you sent an article from IGN, I think, that they were like, we'd give this a 10 of 10 perfect if we could. And I chuckled because, again, Minishoot Adventures.
Who did?
I could have sworn you sent this link early on.
I think it was me.
I'll have to go back.
It.
Maybe it was Aaron.
Me?
I truly don't know. I thought it was in our Discord. I thought it was somewhere that I saw. Maybe I just saw it and I attributed it to one of you guys. I don't know. But basically, where I thought IGN gave this a super high review, and I was like, that's just weird. It didn't look like much of anything, but it got me really quickly. And it is nothing like world breaking. It's not innovative really in any ways necessarily, but it's just a lot of fun. And truthfully, yeah, I almost want to give it a definite game just because it's not the greatest thing I've ever played. I can't really think of anything that's wrong with it outside of the name and the picture of it. So yeah,
some
it's
issues.
a game.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably some that'll come up when we're talking about it, but in the big picture, there's nothing that I can complain about.
Yeah.
I think our first category, is its biggest.
Yep.
pitfall.
Sure.
But-
That's fair.
So, so there's been a lot of discussion of, Game Pass as like a platform, especially over the last few years, but even over this last week, there's been some changes. The pricing has now come down for Game Pass Ultimate. How Call of Duty launches is now changed. Now there's a talk of how the pricing is going to work based on what your preferences are as a consumer. So you can kind of a la carte pick what you want your Game Pass to have and pay a price accordingly. And with that all being said, there's been a lot of discussion on what Game Pass should be. And this is kind of the perfect example of a game that exists on Game Pass that I would never in a million years touch or care about this game if not for Game Pass. Like, this is the perfect example.
Because of its presentation, as I said.
It's its presentation, but even if you're just kind of looking at screenshots of it, I wouldn't have really gotten kind of what the vibe was of it. And it doesn't take you long to figure it out because it's very simplistic. But I think that would have also thrown me off too, just the simplistic looking graphics. I just wouldn't have really cared to even check this game out. Just would never have been on my radar. But this to me is, again, when you talk about where is Game Pass really succeeding, this always comes back to it, are these indie games that are very niche and very little people would try them out. But when you do, you're like, oh, I'm glad that I did. Because it didn't cost me anything other than my time. And I enjoyed that. Yeah, this is going to get a game. It's not going to get a definite game or anything like that. It's not the game to end all games. It's not my favorite indie game. But it is just fun enough. And as Andrew kind of mentioned, its progression systems are just good enough to kind of keep you hooked on it. So for that, yes, it does deserve a game and not something that I would pass on.
Good to know.
Just want to clarify.
All right. So getting to the story of Minishoot Adventures, as I said, it does a very basic cutscene at the beginning, literally multiple little scenes of you guys are happy little spaceships in a village of spaceships. Evil meteor, purple meteor comes down, destroys it. Everyone kind of gets captured. You are essentially the last remaining spaceship in this village. You wake up. You have no weapon. The goddess of the planet kind of starts granting you powers, gives you a gun, and you are going around trying to free the citizens and upgrading your guns and basically try to battle this corruption. As you go on, there are some ancient tablets you can find, which kind of unravels a bit more of the lore as what's happening. But yeah, overall, that is essentially the story, like kind of it. So starting off with the story, as Aaron kind of said, to me, this is the game's weakest moment. It was a means to an end. It was okay. I do like that they definitely kind of expanded a little bit with the environment. As you're going through the environment, you're kind of seeing these different areas and kind of what have happened in some of these areas, and it's like, okay, this is kind of interesting, but nothing. Yeah, it didn't.
It isn't interesting.
No, when you get to like the desert area and like this is a whole on battle, it's like, oh, and
yeah,
then the third boss, you don't even fight; he's already dead, and it's like, oh, this is kind of cool.
This is one of those games. We've kind of talked about this in the past, especially when it comes to indie games. On like, what came first in the development of this game? Was it a really cool story that they then built the game around? This was 100% the game was thought first. No story was thought of it, and I think you kind of felt like, well, we have to do something. Clearly, somebody just wanted a twin stick shooter that kind of played out with some of the elements of the original Zelda. Like that is the pitch. That's literally how you pitch this game to people, because that is what this game is. The story doesn't matter. The story is beyond irrelevant. They just had like they're anthropomorphic spaceships. I don't know why.
To me, this also felt like this person was a big fan of the movie Cars. He's like, but what if instead of cars there were spaceships?
It does give you Cars vibes, except that I could.
That's dead planes.
Because
planes.
Yeah, that's true. Next one, spaceships. So, because you have spaceship friends in there.
There's a family.
Is there dialogue from the spaceships?
Nope, they just beep and twirl.
I'm trying to like remember. I was like, yeah, they definitely do stuff to communicate with you, but I was like, I know you're.
Oh wait, no, there's talking, and the big ship is super racist.
Yes,
just keep saying racist jokes.
There is dialogue in this game. I just couldn't remember if it was from the spaceships. So no, it's not.
Well, not dialogue. I'd say text.
Well, that's
no, it does speak a couple times here and there. It's like I thought, like, if I'm remembering, because I just finished the very end of it, and I thought it would, be like, oh, you're
there is
now.
Voice.
There's no voice. The way you guys have described, there's no voice acting.
Is there though?
There's no voice acting.
Why do I feel like I can hear this?
I can too. It's like a female's voice.
Yes.
It's like it's just talking to you, but it's only the like goddess of the planet or whatever that talks to you once.
It sends
every
text.
hour
I
or
didn't
two.
get any voices. Did I turn off my audio or something?
Am I making this up?
I mean, maybe Aaron and I are just misremembering, but I could have sworn I remember at the very least it just being like very, very, I don't know, maybe 25 lines total even. Like, it's not even like there's a ton of it. It's just.
We could be making this up though, but I like that our journalistic integrity will not double check this.
No,
well,
I'm not.
IMDb.
No, that's journalistic integrity. We don't do that. We just make claims and we stand by it.
And
there was
the good
definitely
thing
voice acting in this game.
is that one way or another, this podcast is correct because Andrew disagrees with Aaron and I. So ultimately, we're right. That's the beauty of this.
I want someone to put in our comment section
if there's voice
if
acting.
this is true or not.
I love for you guys, when we get to the audio part where you guys praise this game's voice acting.
The voice acting was outstanding.
Honestly, I just like the comment section in general just to become the fact check for us.
Yeah,
For people
I like
just,
that too.
all of our journalistic integrity is in the comments.
I like that.
But anyways, the story kind of sucks.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
it's
not much to say. There's literally, this is like the shortest section because it's like, I mean, if you're watching the video right now, Andrew just fought a Dorito.
And
I literally kept calling them Doritos too. I'm like,
did.
these things are just flying Doritos.
I mean, that doesn't explain why I was getting hungry playing this game. But I'll never complain about a game that's a means to an end of story if the gameplay holds up, and I think that it does here. Again, where it's not the greatest thing ever, it's enough that I'm like, I don't care that there's not a lot going on, that I don't understand what this family is or really anything. So
Like,
I agree,
if this didn't have a story
it's
at
weak,
all-
but it's not a negative weakness. To
It
the
does
game.
have a story.
No, but I'm saying if this game didn't have a story at all, would that have literally changed a thing?
Would have changed 0%.
It would have changed It would have literally. I can't think of it like because it like has so little effect. If this game literally just
I
dropped
would
you in,
disagree. I think it would make me not like the game as much.
really,
I like to at least have a purpose as to what I'm doing things.
no.
And also, too, here's a bigger
Purpose
question.
is maybe the closest I could come, but
If
I
it's
couldn't
fun, it's
care
fun.
about. Yeah.
So here's a bigger question. So these ships are anthropomorphic. Are you killing like essentially zombies? Are you essentially slaying the citizens of this universe?
See, this is why I say the stories are relevant because they're not answering that question. They're not even trying to ask that question, Andrew.
I mean, I assume
Because
there's
this
some
game
sort
is
of
built to
invading
make you
species.
think, Aaron.
It is not made.
You are
This is definitely.
this is trying to make you deep dive in your psyche here and figure out, is it okay? Am I hurting these people by shooting them?
I will say though, there is something kind of funny about that. Like the idea of like imagine making a game like this and like it's got a really metaphysical story that nobody understands but you. So like you really put all this thought into it's really, really deep into what the game is saying right now, but
This
no one
game's actually a
understands it.
big social commentary.
That's
on,
what I'm saying.
on,
Like
slavery.
there is something kind of funny about like I don't know, what if somebody did that? They just made this kind of silly little simple game, but they actually spent a long time thinking about like the allegory behind it. But
We're just
That's
sitting
like
here, this
something
game
I've
has
always
nothing
wondered.
to
And
it.
like I remember being a kid and like when you had to read like Animal Farm.
yeah.
And then people are like, "Oh no, it's about the social construct." I'm like, I thought they were just talking animals
Yeah.
being mean to each other. Like I'm like, I don't know.
There'd be something kind of funny, right? If you built this game and you really did have like this deep social commentary, and then you're listening to this podcast, if everyone's like, "There's no story, it doesn't say nothing," and you're just over there like, "Yeah, got him.
Like,
That
what?
was the story."
Or they're super pissed. They're like, "How do you not see it?
How did you miss this? It's so obvious.
You
That's just-
clearly
I-
not see it."
I just think about these things sometimes, but because there's nothing to say about this game, like there really is no story here.
All right. So we'll get to the gameplay. So as you can kind of see, if you're watching the video here, the gameplay is a top-down twin-stick shooter where you are just playing a little spaceship. You're going around shooting other little spaceships. They blow up. They drop some red crystals. Collect the red crystals, which is experience points. Once you gather enough, you level up. The skill tree system is pretty nice. It's basic. You're upgrading your speed, your firepower, your bullet speed, your range, the damage. Of course, each kind of time you level it up, it requires more and more crystals. But the great thing about the RPG's skill system is that you can instantly downgrade a skill. So if you're like, oh, well, my speed only costs 2 crystals, I'll just put them in there. But, oh, I'm so close to getting the damage. Well, what if I take away those crystals I put in speed and I can now upgrade my gun? So I love that this game really gave you the freedom to just mix and match your skills because it was super helpful, especially when it came to bosses where I'm like, well, I don't need to move fast for this boss. So I'd rather go a little slower, upgrade my damage. Maybe I can kill this boss a little faster. But you're just, going around. There's 4 major bosses you got to kill in order to unlock the big bad boss. You're collecting collectibles, upgrading your hearts to increase your capacity, upgrading your gun. It's very simple, easy gameplay mechanics. But man, this gameplay loop was very addictive to me.
It is, and one of my favorite things, like again, it's like I feel like it's a topic that comes up a lot. Is the upgrades mostly felt meaningful. It didn't feel like, oh man, now I'm just destroying everything. But that little extra boost of damage really felt like, okay, I'm getting through some of these sections a little easier, or maybe a boss even. And part of it is because probably one of my only gripes is some of these bosses are wicked just meat sponges is really all they are. And it's not bad because they're all pretty unique and they're all pretty fun for the most part, but some of them just take so much to kill. So that little like 5% can really actually make a difference.
I didn't know that you could just easily take points out and put it elsewhere. I never tested it. So I didn't know that.
Well, you missed an achievement then.
Yeah, I don't read the achievements. So are you telling me there was a mechanic in this game again?
Yeah.
That if I just read the achievements, I would know that mechanic's there?
No, it's literally on the
And
screen.
it also tells you.
Yeah.
It also tells you in
Oh,
the
does
game.
it? I don't.
like-
I mean, I never needed it. I never felt
No.
like there was ever a point where I was like, "Oh, I
did
need
it
to
for
make
the
an adjustment here."
races. So
Huh?
so like one of the sections that you can find, or the little caves you'll find, are these little race sections that you need.
Yeah, like
And I
little
would come up to
sprite
those.
ships.
Yeah, and all I would do at that point is I would just empty my points all into speed and
makes
do
sense.
the race. and then I go back to it. But yeah, outside of that, I pretty much leveled up speed last of everything overall. I am curious, Andrew, what difficulty are you playing on here?
It's the hardest.
You are. Okay, I figured you would. And that's like another one of the things about this that I really kind of appreciated is I also played on the hardest difficulty, but it didn't feel daunting. Like
Yeah.
the only time it actually made an impact for me is the very, very, very end of the game.
I
Yeah.
played
The
it on.
accessibility in this game is really good.
I played this on medium or whatever the middle one was. It's like adventure or something like that. And honestly, if I were watching this, I would think it was about the same. This maybe looks slightly faster, but not.
I think part of it is the delay from the stream, but overall it isn't a vast difference because what I ended up doing is so you without spoiling anything, after you kind of beat the game, you get an extra section where you can do these extra challenges of like 12 rooms. So I was trying to perfect those rooms or at least like 3-star them or whatever. And I tried turning down the difficulty because they get brutal. And then ultimately I said, screw it, I want to beat them. And I hammered the accessibility. I went straight up in vulnerability. I just want to get through with these.
I was a little concerned very early on that this game was going to be really, really easy. And maybe it's just because.
Well, you are a fool.
Yeah. Well, it's a little disarming when you play the game. The graphics are very simple. The gameplay itself is very simple. So it feels like, oh, okay, this is going to be kind of like a borderline twin stick cozy game, if you will. But no, there's some
I hate that phrase is getting thrown around like
I
everywhere
know.
now.
It just feels
Like, oh,
fun to
Dark
call,
Souls is my cozy game. And it's like,
feels
come on.
it feels fun to call things cozy. But yeah, I was like, oh no, some parts of this game kind of kicked my butt a little bit, unexpectedly. But I never was frustrated. Actually, you know what? I was a little frustrated with. I take it back. Dying and having to start all the way back at your home base sucks.
Yeah, that ends up being it not really is bad once you open up all the map, but I mean
No,
that
it
could be
just
said
sucks,
for a
though.
lot of these Metroidvania style of games.
See, it didn't bother me that much because, like, this is another thing that I really liked about this game is when you're first playing it, you're like, man, this map is huge. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much to explore. But, like, as you're playing it, you're like, oh, no, this is actually really small. So even when you die, I'm like, oh, I could just boost right over there. Because
Yeah.
also, you're constantly opening shortcuts. And so, that's why it never frustrated me too much if I died because I'm like, oh, okay, I could just boost through this area and I'll be good.
Yeah, I was gonna say the weird thing about it is the bigger the map gets, the smaller it also gets at the same time because of the fact that you get all those shortcuts. So you can get to these expansive areas, and then you get the skill too that you can always boost back home. So if I'm like, oh man, I gotta go all the way across the map, I'm like, well, at least just transport home, and then I'll continue on the rest of the way there.
Yeah.
But so watching Andrew's gameplay, this is what really was probably one of my favorite mechanics of the game. And I don't know if it's mechanic is the right word, but it's all of the hidden rooms.
Yeah.
Because it just pushes you to explore. And they do it like there was a lot of times where there's connection points and like a door that would lead me somewhere that I was genuinely be like, oh wow, like they were surprising and well linked and connected. I thought it was a very cool map design.
Aaron, what does it say at the bottom left of the screen?
Downgrade. Why would I ever look at that?
See? The game did tell you that you could downgrade your skills to get the points back.
I click A to upgrade.
Aaron only looks forward.
That's what
I
I
just
time
wanted
for
to
looking
point out
back.
because you're like, the game doesn't tell you. It says right there.
I wasn't disagreeing with you. Yeah, the only reason I mentioned the achievement thing is because you said, "Oh, well, you didn't get an achievement then," and I was like, "Oh crap, are we doing this again?" Where I have to pay attention to the achievement to understand the game. So I wasn't disagreeing with you. I just needed some clarification there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was. I know Andrew kind of mentioned it too, but kind of adding on to that, the little secret rooms that Keith just kind of mentioned. It is like there was this constant feeling of progression. Like I always felt like I was getting better, no matter what I was doing. Even when you're kind of backtracking, like if you go and fight the guys again, you're just getting more experience. Like you're just getting stronger.
I loved that the bosses, like every boss, of course, has like multiple stages, and every time you complete a stage, they drop experience points.
Yeah.
So like that was a way of like, oh, even if you're just constantly bashing your face against a boss, you're still going to be leveling up because it's still giving you experience points. So it's very smart with that. But I also loved this game. Really did just feel like there was constant things to explore. Like, yes, the game does kind of guide you, like, you can't go to this area yet because you need this certain ability. But I still felt like I could at least explore parts of areas. Like, I was definitely exploring the desert area when I was way too early there. But it like didn't prevent me from at least kind of starting the area, exploring and getting some of the stuff there. And so I really liked that. Like, it never felt like, oh, nope, you have to go this path. It didn't feel like it was forced linear.
So, and again, maybe this is a game style thing. You know, I can't say these are the types of games I play a whole lot of, but so maybe you'll blast me. Maybe you guys will just make fun of me for this. Maybe someone in the comments will make fun of me for this, but I did find that area a little bit frustrating in not the exploration. The exploration was great, but it was sometimes hard to tell, like, did I complete everything in that area or remembering where things were? So, like, for instance, we saw in your playthrough here, you learn that little spin dash move. And there were clearly areas where I needed to use that, but I didn't remember where they were. And so I'm kind of then just stuck kind of exploring everything again, trying to find where that one thing was so I could now go use that ability in. I know that's really popular in like Metroidvania type style games.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it didn't bother me at all because I think the game. I don't remember if it's a skill that it gives you.
You eventually unlock a thing.
The little
you buy
icon
it.
above it. Yeah, okay.
That basically when you complete an area, it checks it off.
Yep. And I think
But
thought
when I
gives you a
saw
little
it, it was
icon, too, that
it
tells
was
you
just
what you need, but-
caves.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I thought this game as a whole does a pretty good job of not making things too difficult to find. Like, definitely some Metroidvanias can have that aspect of it, but I will say, so I was trying to 100% the game as I was going through it, and I don't even remember what it was, one of like the last collectibles, and I just could not find it. And because this game is really small, kind of hard to find any real good information online. So I had to go and find someone who just had like a 7-hour playthrough video with no dialogue.
So
And
how did you figure out where the section was?
just purely skimming it. It was something in the desert section that I needed. So I was like,
Gosh,
all
that
right, well,
sounds
I know it's going to
awful.
be towards the end. And I kind of just skimmed, like, breezed through it. I found it pretty easily.
I don't
but-
have that type of patience. I'd be like, well, I guess I'm not 100% in this thing. Who cares?
And it ended up being, as always, just something really stupid that I was like, yep, just didn't go down that one lane there that I
Yeah.
needed. So, but yeah, overall, I liked the progression. I thought, yeah, it wasn't too easy, but it was easy enough that I never felt like I was getting super frustrated. I think it was that there was one battle we watched Andrew do with the things hopping around the tree. That one I just refused to quit on. So I think I tried it 10 times before I
Yeah,
finally
that looks
either
like hell.
beat it.
I
Yep.
didn't do that.
I mean, once you get strong enough, it becomes super easy.
Yeah.
But there was that one, and like I said, it was really just those final bosses that I was just beating my head against the wall. And even with accessibility turned on, it gives you one last race you have to complete, and that thing is a doozy.
How far did you guys get in this game?
I finished it.
Yeah,
I-
Keith's been playing it for a while.
Yeah, I picked this up probably a couple. Or I actually all but those last challenge rooms I had beaten this game weeks ago.
Which, by the way, I need to add. I mean, I don't. Do I need to add this?
You do.
Playing this streaming, so playing this in the cloud, awesome.
Really?
For a game that I was a little worried was going to be, because it looked a little like you kind of need a little bit of the twitchy skills to it, but this thing ran beautifully clean. I didn't get a single area that didn't look graphically like really, really nice, and it played great the entire time. So
Isn't it only like 5 gig?
It's not a very big game. Obviously,
No,
it
it's not
should-
even a gig. I think it's literally like 900 megabytes.
Well, Andrew was spot on at the beginning when you said this. Kind of remind you, and this is aging us here because there's probably a lot of people that are like, "What the heck is Newgrounds?" But when you said this is like a Newgrounds game, that is spot on. This very much feels like one of those. What was that called? Java.
Yeah,
It feels like a game made in Java. Gosh, there are Flash and Java. You're right. It was Flash. There's going to be so many people, maybe not so many, but there's going to be people that hear that and they're going to be like, what are they talking about? Because Flash has been dead Flash has been dead for like 15 years or something at this point. So
it's not that long.
Is it actually dead?
Homestar Runner is not done in Flash anymore.
Yeah, it's 100%. And that's why when you said Java, I was like, no, that's not right because Java's still around. But anyways, yeah, this is just another tangent. But speaking of Newgrounds, that there was someone who created that like Newgrounds database basically that you could just hit like a random button. It would just give you an old Newgrounds Flash animation. It's like, oh man, it's just sick. Like a little time capsule. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Doesn't Newgrounds still exist?
I don't know. All I know is the very first thing it gave me was some sort of like Shaq Kung Fu Flash thing. It was amazing.
Whatever we do, though, journalistic integrity, we cannot pull up Newgrounds to
still
see
exists.
Okay.
Oh man, right on the front page, Flash, 1996 to 2020. Flash died in 2020.
I thought it was even older than that.
Knew it wasn't 15 years ago.
I thought it was a long time ago. I feel like Flash has been gone for a while. And in that case,
R.I.P.
It's only 6 years dead. R.I.P. Flash.
Anyway,
barely knew you.
Well, I mean, this game was basically made in Flash, so I don't know.
So, yeah, did you explain how far did you get in this game?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Beat the second boss.
Okay. I'm literally on the final boss, except I know it's not like the final boss.
It's not a long game.
No.
Like, I mean, obviously, again, Keith has been playing it longer. Andrew, have you been playing this for a while?
I'm like 8 hours in.
Yeah, but I mean, did you start this before we decided to review it?
No, I started. Oh, okay. So I've been playing since Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Even I think I've only played 2 nights actually. Now that I think about it.
I was gonna say I more or less beat this game in 3 or 4 nights, like settings. Probably a majority of the time that I spent, and I think it was like a 12-hour or so is where I was at by the time I like fully finished the game. A lot of it was probably done in the challenge section.
Now, I will say this too, just as like an add-on to this. Gameplay wise, fun game to play. Yeah, it's not going to take you long, maybe a couple nights to finish it. But this is not a game I would have any reason to come back and play ever again.
No,
like once it's done, it's done.
Look, not spoiling anything, but literally the way the game ends is it has you actively delete your save file. Like that's part of the canon of how you end the game. So
yeah, because I saw an achievement about giving up your power. That's how it does it.
Yeah. So to that point, you're like, unless you were like, oh, maybe I want to go try it on a harder difficulty. No, or even if it had a boss rush mode, I think I could go back and, maybe dink around with that or something, but doesn't have boss rush mode. So
what do you think this game is trying to say to you on like a metaphysical way when it makes you delete your save file? Maybe this game is trying to say something.
Your life is meaningless.
Maybe the story is there.
I'm not saying it's deep, but there actually is this like other ship that you're interacting with, and I think they kind of came before you. They call you the Unchosen.
It's God?
No, but I think you're called the Unchosen.
I think the enemy's the Unchosen. Or no, no. I think you're the Unchosen actually.
And it says something about.
Should we spoil the story?
In the end of the game, it says something about you becoming the Unchosen to the Chosen, and then you leave all your powers behind, and I think die.
Wow.
So I think there is something going on there. Metaphysical.
So I mean, I was kind of joking at the beginning, but maybe.
So basically, what we're saying is that end of year awards, when we give out our philosophy awards, it's
Yeah.
going to be the Talos Principle and then Minishoot Adventures.
Minishoot
Are really,
Adventures.
Talos Principle really
This
comes-
game left me thinking
that's
way
the
more than
honorable
Talos
mention.
Principle.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's the honorable mention there, obviously.
Yeah.
Another quick thing I wanted to talk about with the accessibility with the like 3 difficulty options. I also love this game gave you shoot options.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it manually? Do you want it to auto aim for you, but you shoot? Or do you want the game to literally just do all the shooting for you? As long as you're within range, the game will just aim and shoot for you. What did you guys do? Do you guys do the manual or?
Yeah, I did the. There was
The full
assisted.
manual.
There was assisted. There was manual. I couldn't tell the difference between assisted and manual. From what I can understand, do you see how your bullets kind of curve a little bit?
Yeah.
Is that assisted?
No, this is manual.
Then what's the difference between assisted and manual?
I think assisted is you just shoot and it'll auto aim for you.
No, that was auto. When I
Auto,
rented this-
I thought you didn't have to even use the right stick. Auto just essentially just did everything for you.
Yeah. I thought
Okay.
there was-
because it described it, but I remember the bottom two thinking, I don't really understand the difference between those two. Because I did the middle one, so I think that was assisted. But it looks exactly like what you're doing. I could not tell you the difference.
Well, because I do think the bullets have a slight homing to them
They
like,
do.
as
Looks
they
like
get
it.
close. But
That's why I was wondering if that
I'm-
was the
I
assisted
think-
stuff.
I think your brain was probably naturally aiming your second stick, but it was probably taking over still and like giving you pinpoint accuracy.
I could. No, I was missing. I'm telling you right now, it looks exactly like. If you were to tell me this was my gameplay, I believe it. It looks exactly.
Maybe
the
there's
same.
like another button you were supposed to
I
shoot.
don't know.
Then. But yeah,
I
all I
played
know is
better
I,
than you, Aaron.
all I know is I went with a full manual. So
Me too.
I don't. Now it's making me wonder, did I do manual?
you probably did.
I don't remember that. I was at the beginning of the game. Now you're fighting a pizza.
A pizza
Pizza
burrito.
killed you. See, this is what I'm talking about. The dying and having it. All right, I gotta go all the way back down there.
Okay. I agree. At the beginning is the worst because you only have 3 hearts and then you get 4, and it's like, yeah, you just die super quick early on in the game.
Yeah.
Once you start to get like 5, 6 hearts, then it's kind of like, okay,
Yeah,
you're
still
dying way less.
This was a complaint of mine. I don't like the.
The run back.
I don't like getting lost. So I don't like when, I've now learned this new ability. I remember I could use that somewhere, but I don't remember where. So now I got to go search everything to find it. I don't like that. And I don't like the constant run back anytime I died. See? This isn't going to be a perfect game, okay? There are some issues here.
I didn't say perfect. I said I didn't have anything I was going to complain about.
No,
There is a difference.
I always have something to complain about.
See, but it's kind of funny. I don't remember you complaining about these things on Silk Song.
Again, maybe it was, I mean, I didn't like those things, but I think there were just so many other great things that stuck out with Silk Song. But I didn't love that part. I remember complaining about dying and having to like walk a mile back depending on where your save point was. I definitely remember complaining about that. So take that.
Like how Andrew
Now you're fighting Roombas.
He's just casually fast forwarded past.
Yeah, even he was
where
getting
dying a
sick.
bunch. And
Of
he was
having
like,
to
"Ah,
die
just see me
and
die all the time."
replay, die and replay. So now he's gonna go fight some Roombas.
I do like that you go because these ones absolutely
Those are 100% modeled after Roombas.
So what we're saying is that in the future,
You're fighting
robots
Doritos,
take over
pizzas, and robots.
as robot Dorito pizzas.
Man,
And
this
Roombas.
game is deep. I don't know what it's saying, but it is deep, very deep.
I mean, and then there's the little frog robots. So
What does it mean?
I will say I like the boss fights in this game. I think it's funny that you'll get bosses and they shoot these massive bullets, but it still only does like 1 damage. It's only when the bullets actually change color that it's like, oh, now this will actually do 2 damage to me. But the boss fights are incredibly fun in this game.
Yeah, I would go a step further and just say I think the enemy variations in this game are pretty good. Like,
There's not a crazy amount, but
there's not
yeah.
a crazy amount, but there was enough in there that you'd be introduced to something new, and you're like, oh, okay, all right, that adds a little tricky element to it. Like when we were just watching your game here. So again, if you aren't watching this on video, Andrew has been playing through it while we talk about it. But those guys that jump, like you get like, all right, you get some added little variation in here. I thought that was pretty good. I was kind of expecting them all just to be Doritos that shoot at you. But you get Roombas that shoot at you. But you're right. It's a short game, so you're not running into that much variation. But I did think, hey, I appreciate them putting a little extra effort into that.
Well, where I think it actually shines in a way on that aspect is that, in a lot of games you'll have like you can quickly identify like, all right, this is your guy who's going to shoot me. This is the one that's going to be the big clunky guy who's going to just brute me. And, like you can just quickly spot what they're going to do. But in a game like this where everything shoots, they actually made them feel all a little bit unique in their shooting. And then you pair them together. You said you have ones that are trying to, spear you with their Dorito point while the other ones are shooting bullets at you. You don't really know what to take on first. So it's a kind of a neat variation. But I think as much as I liked the bosses, I truthfully think though they just I will be curious, Andrew, just to see what your opinion is once you finally do get to the challenge rooms, because truthfully, I don't know how it is physically possible to beat some of these bosses with a 3-star, like on the final one, when it comes to the challenges, because they are like they'll just send out a full like double circle of red bullets that you're just like I can dodge through one, but then I just land inside of the other bullets. Like I just don't understand it. And it's I don't know.
Andrew, you have to do it now.
Well,
I plan on beating this.
I know
game.
he will.
Yeah, I'm not very far. I probably have like an hour left or so.
Yeah, but it's the challenge rooms. I don't care about you.
Do it right now.
I just want to know if you can beat the challenge rooms. I mean, watching Andrew play right now, I'm not very confident Andrew could do it because he kind of sucks. But
like I will say, I think I could have gotten through and beaten all of them for sure. I just don't think I could have beaten them with 3 stars without the accessibility turned on. And at that point, once I was doing it, I was like, I just didn't really care about more story. I just wanted to finish it in like 20 minutes at that point. So
I swear I'm good at this game. I'm a 5-star man.
It does not look it watching.
No, he's died a lot. He's like jumped into a lot of bullets.
The Roombas are really
okay, but this is another complaint I have too. I feel like they just didn't.
Oh, it's the game's fault.
I feel like they didn't pace the beginning of the game very well, because looking at this is another thing that reminded me that always irritated me, and that's healing. Like there's eventually a character you can find that'll heal you every time you go back to the village. But at the beginning of the game, you only have 3 hearts. And I'm like, oh, anytime I hit a checkpoint, maybe that'll heal me. No, you're really just kind of just out of luck.
Things
and it doesn't even give it to you when you level up.
Every once in a while, the enemy will drop a heart, but it's very inconsistent.
I do agree with that. The very beginning, it seemed like the hardest part of the game. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a problem if you didn't have to go back to the village every single time you die. So it comes back to my complaint.
So you know what? I'm thinking you have more of a valid complaint, Aaron.
Thank you.
Now that we're talking about it more. But all right, but let's get to the graphics though. The game is very simple artistic wise, but very good because everything is very well choreographed. Like I could easily tell what things were. The bullets always are either a yellow ball or a red ball. So it's very easy on the screen. Essentially anything, if something's flying at you, it's more than likely a bullet. Avoid it. And so to me, like, I really liked how this game looked. Because, yes, as Keith is saying, there's some bosses you get to, and the screen is just filled with bullets. And instead of actually, like, I have to, like, look at my character, not so much where I'm shooting. I'm like, okay, if I can just shoot this general area, but I need to focus on my character and just try to dodge, just survive by dodging. Luckily, I think the graphics are very good. It's also very smooth. I had no graphical issues or no glitching or anything like that. I thought the game worked well.
Yeah. Sneaky, one of my favorite things about the entire game, though, is your ship. And it's just the subtle movement of the tilting in the way that it twirls and just, you can, like, the way it moves actually feels really detailed in an otherwise super simple environment. So it's just like one small thing that I really, really appreciated. But even with the simplicity of everything else, it's still really nice, and it doesn't feel like it's just this thrown together, you know, half thought out game.
I like your boost meters on the wings. Like it's not in your HUD; it's literally displayed on your wings, and that's it.
It's 2026, so I would say 98% of the games that come out look good. Like it's
Fair.
really hard for a game to graphically not look good. I wouldn't say this graphically looks bad, but I would say that this needed more. I mean, there's no texture in this world. It is a lot of flat, bland colors. Is that why you're playing this game? No. But do I think it would have helped this game out a little bit if there was like a little bit more flash going on? Yeah, kinda.
I don't. I think it'd be harder to coordinate with the bullets.
Because that's normal in these bullet hell games for them to be a little bright and flashy. This one's pretty boring. The spaceships are like 3 shapes on a shape. Like all of them are like that. Like here's a Dorito, a triangle, and we put 2 lights on the wings. Like look at that. Those enemies, a circle and a thing at the tip, and it's a triangle. That's all these enemies look like. They're not actually kind of interesting or unique or have any real detail.
This enemy's a giant tree. What are you talking about?
There's very, very, very little detail in this game, and I think it could have helped with a little bit more of it. It's not bad. Like I said, it's 2026. Nothing is bad looking, but this, come on. This could have used a little bit more. Everything is very bland looking. Look at this little city next to you. Bland. It's boring. Its most
Tower.
detail is it's got a smash in the roof. That's it. That's all it is.
Now it's got a smash in the door. But I
Just
think
need
what
a
you're
little more.
just really not considering, Aaron, is what are they trying to tell us with the graphics?
This is
there
a good
could
point.
be a very important metaphysical message there, and you're
This-
just bashing on it right now.
This is a good point. If the developer's listening to me, he's like, I did that on purpose.
Yeah, why are most
Notice-
of the buildings very phallic?
How are
shaped?
you missing my message?
Notice that the shapes when they have the little red tip on the top, they're stronger. That's how you know. What does the red tip mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
See, my question too is why do all these ships have a cockpit window? Is there a
Okay.
little person in all these ships?
Yeah, okay. See, this is part of the issue. But again, I think I need a little more pop in the graphics. This is all boring. It's pretty boring. Not bad though.
All right, but audio. The music
Voice
is pretty
acting.
good.
So
yeah,
good.
guys, tell us praise the voice acting here.
I mean,
Was it a
that
female or
angelic?
male voice actor?
It's a female voice. Me and Keith both have heard this voice. It is a
Maybe
female voice.
maybe in our dreams.
She is like an angel.
She is.
She might be an angel. We don't know if that's part
Did
of the
you say
story.
this is at the beginning of the game?
The
I think
beginning, the end. You,
I thought
you know
she
what it
said
is?
it-
You know what it is? Andrew hasn't got to the challenge levels yet because he's not good enough. So if he gets to the challenge levels, he will hear the talking.
This is the beginning of the game. This is like the first 2 hours I've recorded here, Keith.
Beautiful voice acting.
Well, I haven't seen you beat any bosses here, so
You want to know the worst part about this? Is I'm like 90% sure that I've heard this voice. I don't know if I ever put my headphones on for this game. I don't know if I listen to any sound in this game.
Are you guys like having are you guys like sharing a stroke or something?
I mean, like our consciousness just kind of combined there, I guess.
I know. I love how this is delving more into now I think about it. I never had the audio on, but the voice acting in this
But
game.
I could swear
I
I
heard
his
it.
voice. I definitely can. When Keith said he heard a woman's voice, I was like, yes, it's angelic. I've heard it too.
Were you watching 30 Rock or something in the background, and you're like, oh, this voice actor sounds like Tina Fey?
No, maybe I did have headphones on. I don't know, man.
she's speaking to me, and
I'm very, very
they're
confused right
beautiful,
now.
otherwise.
But anyway, how did the music sound, Andrew?
The music was okay. It's pretty generic. I bet if you're watching this gameplay, you can probably guess what the music sounds like. In your
And
head, I
voice
bet you could
acting.
probably think of a tune, and it's probably pretty accurate. So it's not bad. I did listen to it quite a while, but But then after a while, I was like, you know what? Like this music's not doing anything for me. I'm gonna like listen to some YouTube.
I'm watching this video and I'm thinking
Okay,
Linkin
so-
Park.
so-
Is that what it was?
So
No,
Andrew's
it's
telling us
mostly
that
Limp Bizkit, actually.
he disconnected his audio and then tells us that there's no voice acting.
I hear Godsmack's "I Stand Alone" right now. Is that what was playing?
Did you know that Fred Durst just released a song with, is it Machine Gun Kelly? Is that, I think that's it.
I don't. No, I did not see this, Keith.
I did.
I believe it's true, but I have
I
not
don't-
seen this.
I know
Thanks.
Machine Gun Kelly is a name only. I don't actually know his music, but
Yeah, I don't either.
Fred Durst is now in his.
I do know
world.
Fred Durst though,
I mean, the
So
Fred
I
Durst part
fight
was
this
pretty
boss
awesome
for like
'cause I
20
did listen to
minutes.
it.
and he just wants to break stuff.
Nah, but they do sing about flipping people off, which is pretty awesome.
That is sick, dude. I love flipping people off. When there's music about that too, and I'm like, I like that too.
I can relate.
Yeah, I really get behind that. I like Keith laughing as he's drinking. All you see is him just kind of smirking and going,
Like trying to take a
yeah, it's like, is he drowning right now? I think he is drowning
almost
actively
did.
while drinking. He is safe. Keith did not die.
For those
So-
of you not on video, I am still here.
So overall, audio is fine. It was passable, but this definitely is a game you don't need to have the
Definitely.
audio on. So this is great to listen to a podcast too. Yeah, the achievements though, the achievements are good. This is a very good achievement hunter game. I wanted to ask you, Keith, since you were bringing this up of the challenge rooms. I see there's achievements to beat the game on, I think, the hardest difficulty. Do you get that achievement for beating the boss, or do you need to do the challenge stages to get those achievements?
You did not need to have the.
Because Keith 100% of this
challenges.
thing.
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh,
I don't
you got all the
think you needed-
achievements?
Yeah.
Okay.
By
But like I
cheating
said,
and
but-
watching a YouTube video.
No. By
Asterisk,
using the,
people. He's got an
by
asterisk.
using the accessibility was the biggest thing that I did.
You went to YouTube to figure out how to get a doodad. Asterisk. I'm thinking about contacting Asha Sharma right now and asking her to remove that because it was done under. That is stolen valor. Keith currently has stolen valor gamer score. Andrew, I bet you've got some too. I bet you've got some too, Andrew.
Is it though if you admit it? I don't think it is if you admit it.
You know what? That's our next episode. We're calling it the Stolen Valor episode, where we just talk about the times that we stole gamer score by cheating for it.
Just a confession episode.
That would be kind of funny, yeah. Like gamer confessions, like things
Yeah.
you're actually embarrassed to admit you did.
The,
But I like the idea of calling it Stolen Valor just because that just makes it funnier. But
I can't remember the game, but there was one that you were able to get the full achievements in like 10 minutes, and that is not how you're supposed to play the game, but it was
Stolen
doable.
Valor.
Oh, I know one. Cooking Simulator. You could actually
Ooh.
pull up the developer like menu and like skip through levels, and essentially you can actually just click unlock all achievements, and it just gave you all the achievements.
Oh, nice.
The heck? All right.
But yeah, so the achievements though, as I said, great for achievement hunters. This is a pretty easy game to 1,000%.
If Keith can
Gameplay, you're looking
100%
between
it,
8
so
to 10
can you.
hours.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our final thoughts on Minishoot Adventure. So I'll kick this off. For me, Minishoot Adventure was a lot of fun. It's very simple. This is something you can easily beat in a weekend or a week, kind of obviously depending how you're playing this game, but it's very simple. This is something you could put down and pick up, I'd say, in a couple weeks. Because like if you wait too long, you might get confused as to where you are and what you're doing. I will say I think the game does a very good job like showing you where to go. Like there are 4 main bosses you're supposed to beat before you get to the final boss. And the game highlights essentially the boss that you are currently on and where to get to him. You may not have the map, so you may not be able to see exactly on the map where he is, but it'll give you the general idea. Like, oh, he's in the top right corner. So it's like, okay, I just got to fiddle around the top right corner, figure out the path and route to get to him. Because obviously it's never simple. You usually got to light some torches or summon a turtle, like some weird objective, but it was always easy to figure out. So I do like that this game, I never felt terribly lost, but I also felt very rewarded exploring. There's a lot of little hidden secrets. So as I'm kind of destroying walls and, rubbing against walls, I'm perfectly doing right now in the gameplay, this game always kind of rewarded me for exploring. So this is a very fun, simple game, but also relatively challenging. Not crazy challenging. Like I said, there's a lot of accessibility options for this game, but it was a fun time. It wasn't, I could turn my brain off and just, I beat the game. No, the final bosses you're fighting, the final rooms you're doing are just a whole lot of enemies and bullets coming around, and you just really got to focus on what you're doing. But yeah, this is a really fun game. I'm going to give it an 85.
So I liked this game a lot. I said at the beginning, I don't know where I saw this review that told me it was a really good game and I should play it, but I did, and I couldn't think of any reason why.
I think it was the voice actor in the game.
It is the voice acting that sounds exactly like somebody typing on a keyboard that I'm listening to right now. So that's definitely what the voice acting is. This is just keyboard typing. There's no voice. I found it.
Don't look that up.
I'm not showing it on this podcast because I don't want anyone to know for sure that I'm wrong. But I had to see it.
So disappointed.
You should be. But truthfully, I was actually surprised on how much I liked it. It was not the perfect game. It wasn't the greatest game I've ever played. But at the same time, I stand by what I said at the beginning. There's really nothing about it that I can point at and go, that's a bad aspect of it. Like that's, something that absolutely should be changed. Yeah, the storyline's not great. Yeah, maybe I should be fighting more than pizzas and Roombas, but overall, the actual combat that those pizza Roombas brought was unique and fun, and I enjoyed the time that I had overall with it. I didn't run into any bugs. Nothing was overly difficult. Nothing was overly easy, and that was playing it on the hardest difficulty. So, yeah, I just thought this was a lot of fun. I'm gonna land right on that 85 with Andrew, though.
At the very beginning, if you were to tell me, Aaron, we're going to review a game. It's called Minishoot Adventures. I say, that sounds stupid. Also, it looks like it was created in Flash. I'd say, great. That sounds awful. And you're an anthropomorphic spaceship, and there's no real story. And I'd say, why are we playing this game? That sounds so, so dumb. And then I got to pick up a controller and actually play it and go, all right, I like this. So it's just kind of one of those perfect examples of things we've talked about in the past where it can fail in a lot of categories. Maybe not fail, but not be great. Let's just say it's somewhere in the middle, but its gameplay is good. And its gameplay is what ultimately saves it. That's kind of where I land on this game. Like, it's wildly inoffensive. Anybody could really pick this up and probably have a pretty decent time with it. It's not long. Nobody was playing this and thinking they're going to get a story. That's why I've kind of asked that question. If this just didn't have a story, would it change a single thing for you? No, it really wouldn't. It would for Andrew, apparently. The story, he needs that.
This should have direction.
Okay. Well, direction is one thing. All that to say, I don't know. I wouldn't give this an 85. I don't think it quite reaches those types of levels. I think that this probably falls a lot closer to like a 74. So that's where I'll put it.
Do you want to know what Google AI has to say about the deeper meaning of Minishoot Adventures?
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
The triumph of minimalism and focus. The title itself stands for Minimalist Shooter Adventure.
Is that true?
Wait, as explained by the developer on Reddit. So wait, that actually might not be a joke.
Wow.
I might have to. I might actually need to do some journalistic integrity.
Yeah.
About this.
Now I want to go to Reddit and actually see what this guy says.
Because it just links to a post where someone says that they were sleeping on Minishoot Adventures. It's not the developer. So I don't know if the developer is somewhere in this 58 comments. I think Google AI just made that up.
No way.
Distilled joy. Zero rage quit. Let's see. Nostalgia and childhood dreams. Light versus dark. Not repeating past sins. The good guy God. Melancholy with enjoy.
It's literally just throwing things out there. Okay. That's enough.
Since we're at the end, did you see there? So there is an actual overall story. That there was a big bad evil, and a chosen was picked to fight it. He was granted powers, and defeated the evil. But then obviously the chosen had to relinquish the powers, and it refused to. and because of that, it was banished basically to the underworld, and now it's basically coming back fully corrupted because it refused to give up the powers. And so that's what you're doing. You're killing it, and that's why at the end you're basically undoing what he did. That you need to relinquish the powers.
Okay.
But that was the story.
Great.
But anyway, thank you all for joining us. I was going to say something else, but then I forgot.
Andrew had a mini stroke himself right there.
Fair.
You hear the
I was
angelic
listening- I was
voice?
listening to voice acting in my head. There we go. But anyway, thank you all for joining us. Make sure you go to GamePassGrabBag.com, check out our past reviews. Top right corner, you'll find the links to our Discord, our YouTube. I'm going to try to, once again, keep streaming some of the games we're playing, at least get a video of the gameplay we're doing, as I did with Minishoot Adventures here. Of course, this is also, scheduling will allow it. But yes, so at least make sure you come to our Discord, say hi. Me and Keith are quite active on there. Make sure, check us out on Spotify. Leave us a review. Leave us a comment. We always love hearing from you people. But I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird01952. Oh,
See you later.
boy. What a good time.
I guess don't even want to say bye.
Bye.
You guys want to play some Vampire Survivor dungeon crawlers?
I was gonna need